pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. For tonight's game, we'll be watching the Golden State Warriors as they go up against the Heat in Miami. For the Heat, they want to come out of the gate strong tonight. We've heard them talk about establishing the upper hand right away, not sitting back and playing it safe in the early stages. And some of the best guards in the league facing off tonight, different skill sets, different styles. Kenny, if you had to build a guard from scratch, what are some of the characteristics you'd look for?
Oh, no question. I'd take the shooting touch of Steph Curry. I'd take the
He makes it look
effortless. I'd take the toughness of Russell Westbrook. I'd take the basketball savvy of Chris Paul. And I'd throw
You take the defense of...
I'll take the defense of Tony Allen and throw it all together. You wouldn't put that together, Shaq? That's making you tired and sleepy? Wake up!
Is this boring you?
I would want toughness. You have to be able to switch on to certain players, the bigger players, and I would like the leadership.
And give me the size of Michael Carter Williams at the point.
The size of Michael Carter. How about the size of Magic Johnson?
No, that's a little bit too big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because later on in his career.
The NBA on 2K Sports welcomes you to Wednesday afternoon basketball. With Greg Anthony and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. David Aldridge will join us from the sidelines. We're in Miami for some Heat basketball. This hometown crowd ready to go. We are nearly ready for the tip-off, but first, let's hear from our very own David Aldridge. DA, it's all yours.
Well, guys, Draymond Green's competitive fire is one of the big keys for the Warriors. He said, that's one of my biggest responsibilities, to be the vocal and emotional leader of this team. We have a lot of guys that are more on the quiet side. If nobody was willing to take that role, we'd just be a bunch of church mice. I thought, why not me? It's natural for me anyway. Kevin?
He's the glue that holds the team together, DA. Always important to have a guy who can fire up his teammates. Doris, should be quite a battle tonight. Two terrific front courts. What do you expect to see?
Well, I'm really curious to see the level of physicality on the interior in the painted area, each side trying to impose its will upon the other. Who does the better job invading the space and contesting shots? Just don't invade my space over here, Mr. Harlan. Keep to your side of the table, will you?
I wouldn't think of it. I would not think of it. And it's the Warriors to start out. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So for the Golden State Warriors right now, Durant and Draymond Green, talented forward duo. The sharpshooters Curry and Thompson are at the 1 and the 2. And it's Pachulia in at center. And it's the Warriors with the ball. Curry with it. The screen from Thompson. Curry dishes to Durant. Offensive rebound.
Boy, that's 0 for 3 in the early going. Just a little out of sync.
Pachulia, no luck. Johnson, the pass to Waiters. He kicks it to Whiteside. Just 5 on the clock. He feeds it to Winslow. Off target from three-point range.
Not quite enough defense that time around. Just lucky he was off.
Well, Greg, Justice Winslow had a year that he'd like to forget, his second season in the NBA. Only played in the 18 games before sitting out the rest of the way after a torn labrum.
And we're just happy to see the young man back out on the floor so that he can continue to develop. Always a fantastic defender. And you forget, still a very young player who can round into a contributor, I believe, on offense.
Right side a screen. Outside Dragic. Shoots over Curry. No good from Dragic.
Just a little hesitation on that release, right? His timing looked a bit off.
Stolen by Waiters. And Waiters with the stop.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came upright with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
Fantastic anticipation. Then he shows major explosiveness converting at the other end.
Here's Curry, following the score by Miami. Thompson from long range. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist. Thompson's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Dragic kicks to Whiteside. Waiters against Thompson. Lets it go from 11. Dion Waiters again. Waiters got his second basket of the game.
Oh, check out the handles. They're nasty. Spin move had his man grabbing for air.
Green kicks to Curry. Misses the three. Miami trailing. Waiters outside. The feed to Winslow. Whiteside a screen on Thompson. Off the pick. And it's Miami with another.
Boy, excellent team basketball. Use the screen to free himself up and drill the jump shot.
Curry kicks to Durant. Three-pointer. That shot, no good. It's all tied in Miami. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And forward James Johnson battled his way back into the league after some stints abroad. He talked about his approach to the game.
I play the game how it's supposed to be played. I play offense, I play defense, I rebound, steals, blocks. You know, I'm pretty much that guy who likes to work hard and don't want anybody to beat him out, you know, except the challenge.
That's exactly the kind of hard-nosed, old-school attitude that coaches just love.
Kevin, and so do his teammates. I mean, a guy like that brings out the best in everybody on that team. They just kind of feed off of his effort and desire.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Heat?
I think they played great D and not giving up anything easy early on.
You love that they're making the offense work, right? Making every single thing they try to do hard.
Richardson is out there with Johnson. Then it's White. Then it's Kelly Olynyk. And it's Adebayo in at the 4 slot. That's the group on the floor for Miami. Doris, seems like every position on the floor is doing more multitasking these days, asked to do more, play differently. So when you're thinking about guards, which do you think do the best job of generating offense, say, out of the post?
Well, the preeminent player that comes to mind is Dwayne Wade. And this is a guy who at his prime athletically was as good in the transition game as anybody in the history of the game. I know you've had certain NBA analysts who have called him arguably one of the best 2 guards to ever play it. The current iteration of this guy is probably DeMar DeRozan, right? We talked about the loss of the mid-range. Well, DeMar DeRozan is excellent in the mid-range, and now they're starting to put him in the low post and let him use his size and his length to create a little fadeaway jump shot. Really pretty to watch and effective for any number of guards.
You nailed it. Now, here's Richardson. Offensive rebound. And another shot. No good on the layup. Warriors leading by 3. Here's McCall. And he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. One of the steals of the draft last season might have been Patrick McCaw, the former UNLV player. Doris fit right in with what the Warriors were trying to do on the floor, and he saw a good amount of rotation minutes.
Well, McCaw proved he was ready to play early in his NBA career. There's no doubt about that. He's got incredible range shooting the basketball. He's also very rangy with how he defends. So much to like about this guy's game.
And the first one drops. so he gets them both.
Well, obviously, I think when you watch the Golden State Warriors, when their pieces are clicking and humming all at the same time, it seems to me, guys, they're unbeatable.
Now here's White. Back to Richardson. Johnson outside. Olynyk sets a screen for Johnson. 4 on the shot clock. And it's sent back by West. Here's McCaw. Richardson covering. McCaw, the pass to West. Over Johnson. Shot's good from West. West has got his first 2 points. Well, to illustrate your point with the Warriors, Doris, they were 60-0 last season when they had hit 10 threes in a game. Only if their shooters go extremely cold do they let games slip away.
This is correct, Kev, and that's exactly what you expect from great teams. There is so much firepower on their team that unless they struggle to shoot the basketball, you're going to have a hard time beating them.
Now, here is Young. 58 seconds left in the second quarter.
Well, you don't get much more wide open inside the arc. He simply got to make that shot.
Pass to Adebayo. No good. They had a chance to end the run there. Warriors leading by 7.
And this is obviously where you'd like to see a 2-for-1.
Absolutely. You have to execute. No reason why they can't get a couple of chances at scores.
And the Heat going with the whole new group on the floor. Golden State also making some changes. Kevin Durant's checked in for Young. Thompson comes in for Patrick McCaw. And Curry subbed in for Sean Livingston. Now here's Waiters. 6 points for him. Great D that time from Iguodala.
Boy, a kickout's probably a better option when the defense is swarming around like that.
Thompson. And again, it's the Warriors missing.
And this could be the final possession of the period.
Right, they have to play their cards right. No rush, work the clock, and get a quality look.
Count it, and the Warrior lead has been cut down to 5 on the bucket from Dragic.
I'll tell you, you're not going to find a much more confident basketball player. He always believes the points are going to come.
And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Warriors ahead. They're up by 5. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Alongside Steve Kerr and Coach, what is the offensive approach going to be in the second half?
Well, we just have to do what we do, move the ball and wear them down with our ball movement, our cutting, and our spacing, and set better screens, all the usual stuff.
Yeah, it always seems to work out for you in the long run. Thanks, Steve. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime, so we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. Golden State found themselves in a close game in the first. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all knotted up. The second quarter largely belonged to them as they took charge of the game and jumped out to a 5-point lead at the break. Taking a look at the Warriors, Kenny, what'd you think?
I was surprised at how comfortable they seemed here on the road. The hostile crowd, that didn't bother them at all. And I want to see if they can keep that up in the second half.
And Shaq, your thoughts on the Heat?
Well, they spent a lot of time away from the basket offensively. They need to get in the paint, Ernie. Whether it's running the offense through the low post or on dribble drives, pick and rolls, get into the paint.
And now, folks, just moments away from the start of the third quarter.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. One of the stories here, Dion Waiters getting it done today.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
You know, I think, Greg, they never settled for the first look. It was always about, let's get the best shot possible. Really good judgment on the offensive end.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second half getting underway. Both teams battling hard through the first half.
And probably the one constant of this Miami team the last few years has been their defense. They do a great job of making life difficult for opposing shooters, and it's been anchored by one of the best shot blockers in the game with Whiteside.
And Golden State looking at who they've got. Lethal shooting pair of Clay and KD out on the perimeter. Inside, we've got Draymond at the 4 and Pachulia to his side. And it's Curry in at the 1 spot. And it's Green missing. And the Miami defense is more than just Whiteside, blocking shots, as you might say. Greg, they do a great job of limiting opponents' threes.
Yeah, they challenge the 3-ball as well as anybody. Both contest the shot and close out to deny the attempt from even being taken. This roster does a great job of taking away space from shooting.
Curry wide open, off target from outside. The Heat trail by 5. Winslow dishes to Dragic, feeds to Whiteside. And Waiters kicks to Whiteside. Whiteside a screen on Curry. Shoots off the screen. Another miss by Dragic.
Well, an 0 for 3 start to the second half. They're going to have to start tightening things up on the offensive end.
Here's Curry. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. Curry's got the first basket of the second half here for the Warriors. And here is Waiters. He's got 6. Pass to Winslow. This is to Johnson. And the slam dunk by Johnson.
And wait to finish and cut into that lead a little bit.
Yeah, but look at the basket guy still shaking. The screen from Thompson. Curry passes to Durant. Pachulia with the screen on Winslow. Durant dishes to Green. Kept alive. Pachulia, good.
No, this is where Pachulia has made his living, right, on the offensive board. So crafty.
The Heat trail by 7. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
And Waiters kicks to Whiteside. From downtown, and Pachulia pulls it down. Golden State's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. Johnson with the block. Waiters against Thompson. Now here's Waiters. There's the screen. Outside Dragic. And the 3 off target. And so it's the Golden State Warriors bringing the quarter to a close with a 7-point lead. Looking good at this point, but wanting more. Right back after this break. Head coach Erik Spoelstra mic'd up along the sideline. Let's check it out.
All right, put together 3 or 4 stops in a row. Come on, just concentrate on good basketball right now.
Compressing it down to these few minutes, Erik Spoelstra asking his guys to focus in defensively.
And talking to one another, quicker rotations, the help has to be there on time if they want to come up with these stops.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up. 2K Sports, happy to have you with us. Kelly Olynyk is out there with White. Then there's Wayne Ellington. Then there's Dragic. And it's Magruder in at the 3 side. That's the group in the game for the Heat. He dishes it to Ellington. Screen by Olynyk. Ellington with it. Picked up by Thompson. Count it, and the Warrior lead has been cut down to just 4 points in the bucket from Dragic.
Well, you see the excellent skill set, and this is when you want to make an impact.
Don't you love seeing this guy rise to the occasion, going right at the defense and getting it done in the clutch?
And you don't want to allow too many of those short ones with the game right now in the balance.
Screen by Olynyk. Outside Dragic. Here's the 3. Another miss by Dragic.
Hey, the defense is content to let him prove he can make that shot, and so far, he cannot.
.149 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Thompson for three. Miami grabs the miss.
And you could tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Now Ellington, screened by Olynyk. Outside Dragic. Olynyk sets a screen for Dragic. Durant with some nice D.
I don't think the defense is much of a factor there. He just botches the finish.
It's tipped.
Okay, Kelly Olynyk getting up high for that rejection. At 7 feet, that length comes in handy.
Kicks it to Ellington. Screen by Olynyk. Ellington with it. Picked up by Thompson. It's in! What a beautiful shot to bring him to within three.
The defenders need to recognize the importance of staying on him as we get into crunch time.
Livingston passes to Thompson. Green with a screen for Thompson. Here's Durant. Again, Durant missing.
The D slow to rotate, and he misses out on an easy chance from mid-range.
Tries from 10. Dragic with another miss. And up the court come the Warriors on the break. Stolen away. 3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Here's Magruder. Yes! And that shot brings them to within just one.
And this atmosphere is bananas.
No doubt. You love seeing him knock down the clutch basket.
Had to foul, and on that occasion to stop the clock. That's the enemy in this situation.
19 seconds left to play here in the fourth. And so they foul intentionally. On the first, and that will put them up by 2. Second one is good. Getting both at the line, and it's a 3-point game.
And the perfect time to be perfect at the line. Only a 3 can tie it now.
Now a timeout called by Miami. They trail by 3. There's 18 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what's your take?
And right now, you can go for the 2 and then a quick foul, or go for the home run.
Well, you've got to be smart regardless of what you choose to do. You shouldn't just heave the 3 if it's not there. Let's see what happens.
Chance now to recognize our Jordan Player of the Game, Zaza Pachulia.
And he's put on a terrific show of skill in the paint. A combination of move, footwork, and that soft touch down low. It's all added up to one dominant performance for the big fella.
There's 18 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. And Waiters with the stuff.
And ran his man straight into the screen and got a clear path to the bucket.
That is how it is done.
Great teamwork. That's something you develop by practicing it over and over again.
No choice but to foul there, but he's probably the last guy you want to see on the line.
So the first one drops, and that will put them up by 2.
Well, think about Klay Thompson. He's basketball royalty. His dad, of course, Michael, the #1 overall pick in 1978. He was a great player, an NBA champion, incredible lineage.
And so he drops them both. It's a 3-point game. Now a timeout called by Miami. They're down by 3. There's 14 seconds left in the fourth. Guys, your thoughts?
And right now, you can go for the 2 and then a quick foul or go for the home run.
Well, you've got to be smart regardless of what you choose to do. You shouldn't just heave the 3 if it's not there. Let's see what happens.
Right side a screen. Johnson for 3. Off target from downtown. And Whiteside stays right with it.
Yeah, and the presence of Whiteside in the paint, really unreal. He is a dominant figure down low. Great work to grab that second chance opportunity.
It's the first, and that will put them up by 2.
You know, I think one claim to fame that if I'm Steph Curry, I'm taking a lot of personal pride in, Kev, is the fact that he was the NBA's first ever unanimous MVP. It's really hard for me to fathom that this will ever occur again in history.
7 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Johnson, that's for 2. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Pachulia. So it's a narrow victory for the Warriors, pulling out the W. They break the hearts of every fan in the building with a dramatic late victory.
And Kevin, this is the kind of win you have to take a ton of pride in. I mean, they battled with everything they had and came through when the pressure was at its highest.
And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks, Kevin. Z, you guys were playing a team that really gave you a great effort, but you were able to overcome that and get the win.
Well, we expected this kind of game from them, but, you know, we gotta do our thing, you know, what we're doing. Play our game. We have to bring the energy. That's the most important thing right now.
Zaza, thanks for your time, man. Congrats. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.